Well, welcome back, everyone, and it's good to see you all here, and it's good to see that I think this is functioning the way Minnesotans expect it to be. I was always under very clear, I think, what Minnesota's values were of go, work together, find some common ground, invest in those things we care deeply about that sets this state apart from others, high-quality education system, healthcare access for all, and communities are able to prosper, whether that's trying to figure out how to get daycare for people or trying to figure out how to build our roads and bridges. As I said the last time, we took a look at the offer that was given to us by the Senate Republicans, and the acknowledgement that we need to invest more, especially in education, was certainly a move in the right direction, but it didn't deal with the part that we all know is always the sticking point: how are you going to pay for this? So they made the assumption they're going to transfer money from a very program that they want to kill, that every hospital administrator and 155 organizations say we need to keep in place, the Healthcare Access Fund. With that being the case, I think it's time to make a move to break some of this logjam, and we have proposed a reduction of 4 cents on the gas tax that we have proposed, down to 16 cents to be implemented in 4-cent increments over several years, to do the investments that every single county engineer has told us is necessary, every single third-party validator has told us necessary, things that will create jobs, create a safer, more viable transportation system across Minnesota, specifically in roads and bridges in greater Minnesota. So this is on top of the previous offer that we've offered. So if there's any question now about our desire to try and work together to get something done, of our initial proposals that we campaigned on, that we were elected on, that Minnesotans say they want, we're willing to try and find common ground to the tune of about $800 million in reductions of revenue and spending, and things that we think we can scale up all the time, making sure that we're very, very clear about this. We will not compromise on Minnesota's health, and we will not compromise in those investments, especially in children and families that make a difference in Minnesota's growth. So this is in the hands of the Republicans right now. It is a real offer that moves in a real direction, and I think our expectations are a real counter offer will actually, again, they want to have conversations about spending. They're raising revenue already in their tax bill. The question is, do we give it in tax breaks to people with foreign interest incomes, or do we invest in the very E-12 education that they said they need more money in? So that's where we're going to wait for next. With that, any questions?
Governor, they will want you to take it to zero, not just down to 16 cents.
Well, I don't think any Minnesotan thinks that that's negotiating. I don't think any Minnesotan thinks that that's fair. I don't think many Minnesotan who's driving on the bumpy roads thinks, as they've said, there is absolutely no proposal to try and get there. And just to be very clear, the sales tax on auto parts that they're relying on is certainly a regressive tax, and it also pays for the Blotnick Bridge. That's it, one project, that's all we get. Our proposal gets us to that shortfall. There was a great article in the Mankato Free Press this weekend talking with every single person in southern Minnesota about the tipping point we're at. This is not going to get cheaper, it's not going to get safer, and it's not going to get easier. I think the right proposal was the one we put forward. They have some resistance to that. I'm willing to try and find some common ground with them. So. It doesn't work that way. Negotiation is not no. Negotiation is not nothing. And again, the dilemma they're in, they know they've grossly underfunded these things, but they can't figure out how to pay for it because they took a pledge that is simply unsustainable, that doesn't work. And now what I hope this does is give them a little bit, come in off the ledge, come and work with us, and let's find some common ground.
Did you bid done tonight?
Gee, that's optimistic. Here's what I would say about this. I know what everybody says, and I understand the dynamics of human nature, and I do understand, both the Lieutenant Governor and myself, of being part of legislative bodies, understand that we can speak for the administration with a little more clarity, that both the leader in the Senate and the Speaker have to go back to their respective caucuses. But I think this was certainly a move to accelerate this. It was certainly a move, as I don't think, and I hope you ask everyone, do you want to get into a situation where you give an 800-page bill to people with the last 30 minutes and so they don't have time to read it? I've been operating, as Senator Gazelka said, he says we need to be done by Wednesday to be in a regular order situation. I'm trying to get us there. So we took about 50 minutes to come up with a response. We've obviously been spending many, many months on this, and we have our folks going down budget line by budget line to think about these and responding with legitimate offer. I mean, this is I get it. There are going to be those critics out there that said, wow, you guys moved quickly and boldly instead of inching along. I think Minnesotans expect that. They want us to get this thing done. So I don't know about tonight.
Republicans have said all along, not one penny of a gas tax increase. 4 cents, as you say, as you term, is bold, but they don't see it that way.
And they get to
How do you get past that?
They have to be reasonable legislators. They have to be responsible. Their communities are asking for these. The need is there. This isn't something we made up, and this isn't for an amusement park on the edge of my house or something. This is roads across Minnesota. This is bridges that are structurally deficient. These are stories of people getting killed, and we know we need to invest. My goodness, Alabama just did a gas tax last week with a Republican Senate, a Republican House, and a Republican governor because the need was there. And every single argument that they made was the exact argument that we're making. Pretty soon, every state will have to do this because it is the funding mechanism to do this. So I get it. They took a no new tax pledge or whatever, but every single county, greater Minnesota counties and cities, every single organization that's out there, the National Chamber of Commerce, dozens of Republican governors. It's an untenable position that is not responsible in governing, and just because you have an ideological position to it, I feel very strongly that doing 20 cents gets us to the numbers that needed to be there, but I'm willing to work with them a little bit. Their zero fixes one project. It gets us no closer to where we're trying to go. And again, Minnesotans are just asking us to be reasonable to get these things done. These are jobs here at home. They take the backlog of transportation projects out. They make our roads safer. They move transportation and goods easier. And this was trying to show them we're willing to work with you on this because this, 35 people saying no to everything is not governments and it is not compromise. So when I'm speaking, Lieutenant Governor and I talk about this often. Minnesotans for 2 years told us, invest in things, but be reasonable, compromise. We heard all along, this is our chance to prove as divided government that we can make it work. We wouldn't be having this conversation if it was a Republican governor, Republican House, I guess, then they could say that. And we wouldn't be going down from 20 to 16 if we have a Republican Senate, but we don't. So the idea there is this is the very model and the very opportunity to prove what the founders said. A democracy can work when we find compromise as a virtue and investments in the populace as something that is virtuous with it. That's what we intend to do. We'll go in there, wait and see what we hear from them, and we'll stay in touch. Thank you.